Of Grow and Tell, presented by Respect My Region. I am here today with Tyler Jacinto from the Processing Management of Triple M Cannabis. Tyler, say hi.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
We're doing great. Triple M is based in Massachusetts. It's a vertically integrated operation. So not only are they cultivating the plant themselves, they're doing the extraction, they're doing all of the processing, which Tyler, it sounds like you're highly involved in. And that's great because you have a master's degree in chemistry, which is very excellent. So do you want to give us a little overview, a little introduction? You want to give us your elevator pitch? Yeah.
Right on. I went to grad school at UNH, undergrad at Holy Cross, chemistry in both of those, inorganic chemistry in grad school, and then a couple of jobs. I did pharma for a couple of years, working for a dry powder inhaler company, and then we did chemical processing. It was more manufacturing production, and that kind of got me in the mindset of, cannabis production, mass scale. And then from there, I actually left and worked my first cannabis job. That was one of the larger companies in Massachusetts that opened up early in medical and in adult use when that was, coming around too. And then I am now currently working for Triple M, and I've been here for the past almost 3 years now, and really enjoying my role here and everything we have going on. It's very local. I live about 5 minutes down the road, so it works out pretty well.
Nice. Yeah, and you're interviewing right now from your lab, right? Can you tell us about any equipment that's
sure.
behind you? Yeah,
absolutely. No, we do short path distillation here for making distillate. Goodness, we do all sorts of edibles in here. This lab actually is where the kitchen's tucked away in a corner as well. But behind us is just the distillation setup. It's a 5-liter setup, a lot smaller than what I was used to at the other place. But this is it's a different market, and it's it's run differently, and it is it's a fun place to work. Besides the short path, we have an ethanol extractor here that was actually fabricated by the director of processing at Triple M, and we have a pretty large kitchen back there, rotovap, 20-liter rotovap. Goodness, there's a lot of equipment in here.
There's a lot of chemistry equipment.
A lot of products are made. A lot of products are made out of here.
Yeah,
for sure.
So, as director of, as processing manager, everybody has a different title for it.
Yeah.
What are some of your day-to-day roles? Like, what are you supervising? What are you managing, Tyler?
Yeah. Any product coming out of the lab, we just quality of it. I do some production. I do some manufacturing of products as well. Even some packaging on occasion if need be. Rarely, but because it's usually pretty demanding, making everything else there. Goodness, the list of products I wish I had in front of me, but yeah, there's a whole wide range. Some of my favorites actually are the faster acting ones, the edibles or drinks or syrups, things like that you can mix in and it kind of hit you a lot faster, which is that's another piece of equipment. Of course, we have an ultrasonic. It's an ultrasonicator, really, just for making kind of looks like weed milk at the end of the day. Not weed, but it's like a white kind of milky. Eventually, it's like a clear kind of substance that you're dosing with. It's just your form of THC. It's all thinned out instead of like distillate, which is thicker and sticky and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So it's basically, would it be correct to say emulsifying it?
Yeah, it's nano emulsion. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we incorrectly sometimes use the term water soluble. It's certainly not a solution, but yeah, it's definitely it's fun. I like that way. I like that line of products. Definitely a fun way to ingest. I feel like a way to introduce people to that are new to the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say, we've made a ton of advancements, at least in our market up here, in the diversity of products available, right? Even within product categories, concentrates, edibles, everything's expanded really rapidly. I'm not super familiar with the Massachusetts market, but it seems like dispensaries are both medical and recreational, right?
Yeah, many are now. There's still some that many started out just medical, and then some dispensaries that are just recreational are the ones that say don't grow and process themselves. They just source from other companies, like wholesale and whatnot. But, there are quite a few. Initially, you were only allowed to be vertically integrated in Massachusetts if you were opening up, and you were only allowed to have a medical license, of course, for the first few years it was around. And then so there's a lot of companies that popped up doing it all themselves, and it really is. It's like it's different companies within a company. I mean, it's so different the stuff you're doing between those departments, and having it all under one roof. It's pretty interesting working in those environments. At least two companies. It's fun to see, really.
Yeah. And so have you noticed that your markets, they have preferable strains? Do you think that people generally just come in looking for preferable products? Or do you think that it's such an emerging market that it hasn't really stabilized yet?
It definitely hasn't stabilized yet.
Yeah.
I know eventually it's as from what I've read, at least, and from what I've seen in Colorado and California in particular, like concentrates kind of start to cut into flower a bit more, and we're certainly not there yet. It doesn't seem like overall as a state, but yeah, I know that's something that eventually kind of does kind of, rightfully so to a certain point. I mean, I smoke. I mostly smoke flower, honestly, admittedly, even though I am like a processor and all that. But I do like. I mean, I love making dabs. It is a fun thing to that we do here as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, but we actually use ethanol. I used to do hydrocarbons at the other place, and that's something that we've been talking about kind of implementing here as well. But it's a whole bunch of extra safety and whatnot. And
yeah, absolutely. When you're doing it correctly, right? I think that in the Washington State market, we adopted a lot of our old practices from black market and
open blasting and fun things like
that.
So,
yeah. And, we were one of the first ones to, recreationalize. So there's been a lot of maybe renovating companies as opposed to like establishing new practices. And we're seeing a lot of really cool things with different solvents and different extracting techniques and different purification techniques and things like that. So
I mean,
dabs definitely
good flour.
Then there's flour. Yeah. And so being vertically integrated and you guys are growing, can you tell us a little bit about the growing practices at Triple M?
Sure. So it's a 3-tier grow. So the plants are a little shorter than you'd see in a lot of places. I think it's more economical. I don't know enough about that side of things to really do it justice. I don't think really to explain it well, but we've steadily been improving. We had a new director of cultivation within the last few months, and he's been really bringing some great ideas and new stuff here. It's been really nice actually seeing the changes and noticing even, with the first harvest or two, it was, a market improvement. And it's, great to see things like that, I feel like. So definitely
it's a good sign.
Yeah, right on. Exactly.
Do you guys grow strains specifically for extraction then, or do you just extract what you didn't, like the way it looked, or you didn't like the way it matured?
It's a lot of that more so. That's definitely there's on occasion. I mean, you'll see a strain and you see a certain thing grow, and you'll just like really want to have some of that, and just you can certainly request, and you'll more than likely get some of it, at least to make a small batch or something like that. But definitely, but it's more often than not. Yeah, it is at this point still. What's not going to go for sale on the floor. But it's certainly all nugs and whatnot, which is a nice thing, at least when we're doing concentration. At least, of course, distillate.
Okay, so you're not doing a trim extraction. You're doing a full
only for distillate, of course. Yeah, for making distillate or RSO or something like that, we'll use. Yeah, definitely. More that type of plant material.
Definitely. And I think you told me
we used to save. Excuse me. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I was gonna say we used to save stems at the other place I worked at. Everything. The fan leaves, they still had about 2 or 3% THC in them. I mean, it's nuts, like what you can get out of these things, and you can squeeze. If you got the labor to do it, I mean, you can. It's profitable. Squeeze.
We used to shove freaking everything in the CO2 extractor, just grind it up and shove it in there.
That's
even if you just get,
I haven't done CO2 at all.
Oh,
yeah. I hear that's a great way to do it for sure. Getting the terps out.
Yeah, and terpenes. I mean, if you need those cannabis-derived terpenes for adding back to any of your products, like you can extract whatever and make distillate out of it, as long as you have a good batch of terpenes to re-flavor your shit. Then it'll be fine. It'll be all good. Yeah, cool. Do you think? Well, I looked at your menus a little bit from the dispensaries. It seems like prices are still fairly high, but like, what is a normal yield for you in terms of like weight? If you're running a, like what is your batch size? Maybe it would be a good way.
Oh, sure. For like, say, running concentrate or something like that, or distillate or whatever. For a certain strain, we're probably like, say, we'll extract, and it's only that, only the flower from that strain that we're using. It would be, I don't know, like around 500 to 1,000 grams or so, something like that. Definitely not very large. The place I was working at before, I think we were doing, and not much larger though. It's still, maybe 1,800 or to like 2,000, 2,400, something like that. We were doing prior to this. It was goodness. Here, I think we're doing close to 60 to 80 pounds a week, but the place before I was working at was quite a bit more.
That's just 60 to 80 pounds for extraction, or 60 to 80
Yeah,
pounds
just extraction. Like that includes trim, that includes flour, things like that. So that's just like the amount of weed processed per week.
Yeah.
So
No, that's
not
pretty
as,
substantial.
oh, sure.
Yeah.
We can't grow it all, of course. There's a
So
lot
you're
more.
sourcing
We're
some of
buying
it.
more stuff than exactly, no doubt, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But,
So then your products, though, that are Triple M branded, are they only allowed to be sold in your dispensaries, or are you also
now,
contracting them out to other dispensaries?
no, we don't actually wholesale anything. And
Oh.
we've been asked for certain things. I mean, like there's not many places that sell, in particular, I feel like the high dose edibles, 90 milligram, 100 milligram edibles, and variety of them, not just say one flavor or whatever else. Like
Yeah.
for the medical patients or recreational people that like, they're the expensive highs. They're not like the cheap drunk or whatever you want to say.
Right.
When
Yeah.
people that work in cannabis, I'm sure, right? I mean, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't. I'm certainly not that. Thank goodness. I'd be, whatever. Either way, they. So of course there's that offering, which is nice, and people have asked about that of wholesaling, larger amounts of this, and
Mhm.
it isn't something that we've pursued, and I'm sure someday we may, but we're focusing on, I believe right now, on opening a third dispensary somewhere in the state as well, which is the max you can have under one ownership group or whatever you want to say there.
Okay.
So that'll be nice to have, maxing out there at least and getting rid of more product that we're making and all that. So
Yeah, you get rid of more product. Do you mean serve more patients?
well, definitely that. I mean, there's a good portion of the people that are buying it that are not patients, but
That's fair.
what I do say is really this place in particular, it was founded by medical professionals, and they are, they realize the benefits of the plant. They want to, they want to promote access to it, and it's just a good thing that there's people like that do that and aren't just all straight up for profit, or cut their menus down to really cater to just adult use, and mostly offer just 5 milligram edibles anyways, and don't even have anything higher than that because they won't make as much money off of it or whatever, that kind of thing. So it's just a nice that we have places like that still that that know that it's not necessarily as profitable, but still, like, you got to offer it. I mean, there's people that want and need this, so I'm all about that. It's a really good thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. It is interesting to hear like how different states regulate dosing. Actually, the person we had on
5 milligram out here is rough, honestly. I mean, it's
5 milligrams,
it's 10, isn't it? Yeah, that's the max you can do for rec.
Yeah, we have, it's a 10 milligram per unit, but 100 milligram per package.
Oh, okay. I think we can.
Serving size is limited.
You're right. Actually, I think it's 100 milligram per package here too. I want to say.
Yeah. Which, if you have a sugar intolerance or whatever, that's really hard to like consume your daily needs without like just taking something super boring like a capsule or whatever. Which, there are people who are still on the capsule game and using it more.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, our medical industry really has thinned out pretty substantially just because the recreational market is so diverse and has so many offerings and so many different product codes and things like that. That it's not really necessary to have a medical card anymore.
Right. So, so do you just? I'm sorry. Like, so a larger amount of? Do you just take 10 candies to get 100 milligrams or something? So like people that, or they just get it on the street or black market or whatever else, right? I assume that's probably. I mean, it's way cheaper to buy weed on the black market, anyways. I mean, out here as well.
No, our black market here is fairly comparable to recreational market, I would say. I mean, it's slightly different, but no.
In terms of price as well, you're saying?
In terms of which now?
Like price, sorry, as well?
Price-wise. Yeah, price-wise.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's definitely not. Yeah, well, because in Washington State, we've been growing indoors for a really long time. I feel like most of us have kind of stabilized. So the markets are fairly even. I would say if my customer really wanted to get a medical amount of like THC without taking a ton of gummies, I would just teach them how to make capsules with RSO, because we do sell RSO syringes or distillate. But honestly, most of my consumers right now love drinks, shots, whatever. Those are really, really popular. We have a 2-ounce shot that
I wanted to do an energy shot.
7 or 8.
Yeah, but father-in-law is definitely big into that. He loves doing them at wet, getting, it's just a nice way to keep you going.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of fun to do a little mocktail, you can have
right on
mocktail. Yeah.
The beverages are fun. We have, I think, 6 different flavors that we do here for the spritzers, and that was a fun product to make, honestly. They were saying originally, like, oh, we're going to hire a beverage consultant, and then the guy's like, we can't find anybody. We don't really know. So it's like, all right, well, let's just try making something.
Let's make a drink.
It's pretty freaking good, I think. I think it's damn better than competitions as well. So, I mean,
okay.
But either way, it's, whatever. It's 5 milligrams, 15 milligrams is what we have right now. We don't have anything super strong, which is something that I think people do want. 100 milligram or so drinks are definitely a thing. And I had those when I was out in, I want to say it was San Diego, a few years back, and they weren't fast acting yet or anything like that, but they were definitely, they packed a punch still. I mean, you have like the shot's worth, and you're pretty good. I mean, it's not bad.
Job. Yeah, they in California, Pabst, the PBR brand, they have seltzer.
Really?
So, the CBD seltzer. I think they have THC options by now, but
sure.
People are definitely getting into it. It's definitely an expanding part of the market, at least from what I've seen, the most rapidly expanding branch. Tinctures are kind of because people don't know how to regulate tinctures. It seems
it's odd here too. I agree. Yeah,
it's like, well, if my tincture, if it's capped at 100 milligrams, as if it is an edible, that's not really what I need. Right. For most of my customers.
We don't have that. I know we can go up to, goodness, I don't know the limit of it. I want to say it's like close to 500 or something like that.
Well, that's great. I can do that with minor cannabinoids, but I can't do that with THC.
Yep.
The THC
speaking of minor cannabinoids, I wanted to talk about that with you. Sorry. Oh my goodness. That's like obviously CBN, and that's super popular now too with the sleepy stuffs and all that. And we've been doing, and we really, the products we've been making out of that have been really nice, but vapes, I haven't actually had like a CBN vape or anything like that yet, or I've been wanting to do like a fast acting CBN, like making that water or emulsified nano emulsion of that, and see if that works any faster. I haven't tried any of that stuff yet, and I haven't heard anything about that really.
We have CBN vapes here. We have it's a 60% THC, 30-ish% CBN vape cartridge. And
it works for sleep, right? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah, my customers say it's like a Valium. Like it's the closest thing that they've ever had to taking a prescription sleep medication when it's just in like a vape cartridge. And on the other hand, we have CBG and THC formulations. And so those ones, CBG almost is a come up, like you almost have like a pre-workout kind of experience where you get that like flush, niacin face almost.
I know exactly that. Yeah. When I buddies just in college one time to like detox or something. It was
Oh yeah. So the CBG, whatever way that it's interacting with our CB1 and CB2 receptors is really
it's the precursor to THC and CBD, right? But I just don't know. I didn't really know, I guess, the effects. So that's pretty cool to hear.
Yeah, it seems that all of these molecules are just binding in slightly different ways, and we still haven't really figured out what the signal is being transduced. But it's anecdotally very interesting, right? Have you heard about THCP, the feral THC?
Recently, I saw that one. I don't know enough about that one, but I know THCV is like that. It does sort of fight the munchies, essentially, right? It's like it limits hunger or something wild. And there's certain strains that have different poison, and there's a couple others I remember seeing.
Cherry pie strains have high THCP.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. That's nuts. Sorry, but with THCP though, what is that? I feel like I've seen that recently. I just didn't really get into that.
THCP, so the medical market in Italy has been just managed by the government for a really long time, and the government has grown all of their cannabis and distributed it as basically a pharmaceutical, and they've unintentionally selected for this feral THC molecule, THCP, and it's really, really potent in terms of its intoxication effects.
Wow.
So it binds super tightly to our CB1 and CB2 receptors, and they unintentionally selected for it, right? They've basically been selecting for low, traditional delta 9 THC molecules. They wanted it to be around 10%, but they have like a measurable amount of this other molecule in there that just gets people fucked up.
Oh my God.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. I wrote an article on it. You can look it up.
I'll definitely read the hell out of that after this. Sure. Sounds great. I know Delta 8, like, have you been into Delta 8 products at all, or is that a thing that you're like kind of anti, or there's definitely a polarizing, I feel like.
It seems to be a polarizing thing. In Washington State, we banned it, which is
right on. Wow.
I think it's unfortunate.
Going on with it.
There's
not right on like in a good way. I'm just like, holy shit, like that's not the whole state.
It was a
so many places don't even know they're like allowing it and all that stuff, and like allowing it completely like without knowing that it gets you fucked up.
You can still buy it on the internet. You can still buy it like from a website and have it shipped.
It's great for nausea. My God, it's nuts for that. Like we had that at home. My wife was sick the other day, and I remember like I was trying. Here's a vape and here's a edible or whatever. Like what the hell? Let's give it a shot, and like it really did help. It's nuts.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's definitely, as far as for my medical patients who are dealing with nausea, I miss it a lot. But what was happening is that since it's so easy to extract it from hemp, people were importing hemp and extracting it and then adding that Delta 8 into a normal THC product, because in our market we have to sell products that contain at least 0.3% Delta 9 THC.
Yeah,
so
I think that's something else. Yeah.
Yeah,
like
they
that.
would just
Call it valuable.
basically get around paying a lot of the taxes on their materials, their source.
I hear
And that's why I think the LCB banned it. Now we're all the way back to the conversation of what is intoxicating, which is
you.
an extreme frustration for me because it doesn't make a ton of sense that we have to discuss what is intoxicating. If we just all agree that Delta 8 could be seen as intoxicating, can I have it back? That's like, I don't
It
really care.
certainly is and does, and it's.
Yeah.
I feel like there's nothing wrong with it. I remember,
No.
like, you take like one more second or half a second on a vape of a Delta 8 versus Delta 9 card, and it's like the same fucking. Not entirely, but you know what I
Not
mean, right?
entirely, but yeah, it's fairly similar. And two,
At least
my,
like, you
my
get
really,
high. I mean, you get. It's not
Yeah.
obviously. I don't mean to simplify it. Obviously, you know what I mean.
No. But my chronic users too, like, there's definitely a very different experience between hitting a Delta 8 and Delta 9. Like some people who've just been smoking Delta 9 for so long, if they go switching between Delta 8 and Delta 9, then they have a lot better experience. It's a weird thing. I would love if the LCB would just say we're going to tax everything and you have to test everything for pesticides no matter what the source is. Go ahead and use Delta 8. That would be great because it would be really lovely to have back. But they're even right now restricting CBN, CBG, all those minor cannabinoids because.
Oh, whack. Okay.
Yeah. So people are getting grandfathered in for formulation.
Like CBD is okay, but everything else is not, or whatever, right? They're just. Is that kind of what you're saying?
If you have been making products with CBG for a while, then you can apply to the state to continue making your product line.
Yep.
But otherwise, they're not allowing any new formulations with those minor cannabinoids to enter the market, which, actually brings me to a question. May I?
Of course.
Okay. So what role does marketing like play in your market? So you have your own dispensary, you get to grow your own stuff. Do you have to put any branding on your packaging? Like, do you actually reach out to your
100%.
customers? Yeah.
We definitely have to. I mean, there's like, there's billboards, things like that you do too. But no, you definitely have all the packaging that we're selling that's made by Triple M is in Triple M packaging and different logos and fun things like that. The freeze pops, I thought in particular, had a really fun design. I think that was Sheila that did that. It was really nice. Yeah. Was a bunch of lemons on there and all. It was really cool. Yeah, really. I thought it was fun.
I really want to make a THC pre-workout. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Right on, yeah. I mean, what the hell? I mean, you're gonna.
Why not?
Anyways, you get high before you worked out, anyways. So I mean, you might as well have it be something effective.
Yeah, exactly. Like a THC protein powder. They have CBD protein powders, but
I had a hot sauce the other day. I thought was fun, but that's not workout related, I suppose. But either way,
the hot sauce, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
It was nice. It was like, I think it was 5 milligrams a scoop or something like that, and it had a little measuring spoon. It's just anything you give with this market. I think you need to have like some type of, if you want to have a decent amount of doses in a product, it's good to have like like some type of tool or tincture drop or that kind of thing, right? Like that kind of allows you to stretch it out.
Yeah, as the cannabis market expands, I hope that we get a little better at thinking about the waste we're generating. Seems like the disposables. I know you guys sell disposables, right?
Disposables in particular, and I don't want to say the company name. I can't throw anything like that out there, but I remember hearing from somebody that goodness, it was like a 1% is what they claim failure rate, and I mean that sounds high to me. What 1%? I don't know. Maybe that's just maybe.
I mean, 1 in 100 products sold, and you have to think about
or at the very least. Yeah. I don't know. That sounds like a lot to me, but whatever.
And when you have a cartridge itself fail, like you can boil that and get the oil out and turn it into a butter or something. But when you have a disposable fail, like there's nothing you can do to get that product out.
Try to break it open in some manner, but I don't know. That's not it's almost not worth it.
Safely gonna boil it to get the product out, right?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a big fan personally of that, but it's just that's a preference thing. A lot of people are. People come in tourists or whatever the hell in this town for sure. There's a lot of that, and that's definitely an easy, quick thing or whatever for people to buy. And I feel like that I remember when they introduced it. I feel the same way every time. It's just it's like a waste thing. I agree completely. It's definitely a good one to bring up in particular. But we actually have good recycling efforts here, believe it or not. We do recycle pretty much most of the plastic that comes through here is recyclable. I mean, we have our cans are recyclable and all of that, no doubt.
Yeah.
Beverages and Yeah,
Do you have a jar? Is there an option to do like a jar take back program or anything like
So
that?
for flour, I don't believe there is. They actually used to have this bag program. COVID screwed up a lot of shit, like things like that. You know what I mean, right? Like that's not like it hasn't been any efforts, I should say, to bring things like that back yet. And I'm not sure if that's like a comfort, whatever the hell, sanitizing this kind of thing. Right? It's like but I don't know. I just haven't heard anything like that. But that's a cool, thing to bring up, though. Either way, we're definitely conscious of that kind of stuff, and we do make efforts as a company here. I think more than many I've worked for in the past, really, that are conscious about what they're generating as waste, and choosing to do a different type of packaging that's more expensive or whatever else because of that. I think it's a nice thing.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that a lot of people are trying to find ways to use compostable packaging or paper recyclable packaging and things like that. But
I love when I order takeout and it's in those ones you can just toss that are like gonna compost on their own. It's just like I think it's great.
Right.
I mean,
right. Yeah. In states like Oregon, they can actually take the packaging back, which I think is really cool as well.
Yeah, that's legit.
Definitely in Washington, we're not allowed to legally take anything back, which is unfortunate. So yeah. Well, what's next for Triple M? Is there like anything coming out that we need to be aware of or keep our eyes open for?
I mean, we're doing a lotion, definitely. That's going to be a new product coming out from the lab. We're definitely doing, it's not the most exciting cannabis product, obviously, in my mind, but it's certainly something that, it's a great offering to have. And I mean, people like lotions.
Is it going to be a transdermal or is it just going to be a topical?
A topical, I'd say. We have a salve as well. And we have transdermal patches as well. We actually, it's a company we've partnered with and sell the patches that they make. It's a really, really effective product. I had a hernia a while back, and I actually was putting it direct. It's a localized pain relief. It's amazing. Like you just put it right on there, and my God, it absolutely. I can't believe those things. Like they actually work pretty damn well.
It's pretty
like a 1-to-1 or whatever. They have THC, they have CBD ones, and I always say like if you have an open wound, if you want to get high, THC will go through right in that open wound. You'll get high that way, but if you don't have an open wound, you're probably not going to get high. I mean, really.
No, not from a topical, but that's somewhat intentional for some people, right? Like some people are afraid of THC molecules. A topical is you can still have a THC topical that you don't get high from, but you can get the benefits just, superficially.
Yeah, for sure. CBD, does pass through a lot easier, I know for sure, than THC. So it's at least that.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So a lotion, was there anything else?
Yeah. Sure. Sorry. So we got, goodness. I mean, we always change seasonal flavors. There's certain products we're bringing back. Hot buttons are a fun one that we have. It's like one of those nano emulsified. They're just like a sort of like a mini gummy that dissolves really quickly in hot beverages, like a coffee or like a, goodness, pardon me, rice. I love doing it in rice because like you get your rice dose that way pretty easily, and it's fast acting. So as you're eating your rice, you're like, holy shit! Before you finish with your plate, you're actually getting high. It's kind of cool. So people say pasta water, but then you dump the water, or you don't use all of it.
I see what you're saying because the rice cooks in all of the water. Okay.
Good braising liquid, maybe you can throw it in. You can ramen? Hell yeah, you could absolutely drink that.
Or like a chicken noodle soup. That's a good fall. A good fall. I get it. I
did it for soup for sure. I think that might have been the hernia recovery, to tell you the truth. Nice. A lot of there was hot buttons and chocolate bars were keeping me. The doctor gave me an oxy prescription, and I'm like, don't even fill that shit. I'm all good. And I swear to God, I didn't. And some people need that stuff, no doubt. But like, I don't think it's that great. And if you can relieve yourself of cannabis, then
Didn't you come from pharmaceutical? Are you supposed to tell us that?
Oh my God, are you joking?
Pills?
Why am I not working in pharma still? It's because I don't like pharma really. And I like working in cannabis. I think it's helping people out. It's a good thing. It should be helping people out. It shouldn't have been illegal for as long as it was. I think it's ridiculous. It's a good thing that now it's being accepted.
I agree.
All right, isn't it? I mean, really though. One thing I know we only have like a minute left, but
you're fine.
Tissue culture. You were talking about that, and I don't know enough about it at all. And I know that seems like a thing that you were doing, and it sounds really fun and like just getting rid of diseases out of plants or PM susceptibility, things like that.
My motivations have always been in sustainable agriculture. And so my intention was to move a terpene enzyme, so an enzyme that makes a terpene from mint plants into potatoes and roses. So that was my research. So I was genetically modifying stuff.
So not menthol or something else? Or
E-beta farnesene, which is a molecule. Yeah. So, farnesene's pretty common in cannabis even, but it's the molecule that actually aphids produce. I'm sorry, Yeah, aphids produce in response to predators, and it attracts ladybugs. So my intention was that it would provide protection from aphids for those two plants just by, you know, a normal terpene synthesis like that.
Yeah,
Basically confuses the predators and
for
attracts
sure.
the positive players, so the ladybugs. And
I
yeah,
love
that was gonna be
gardening.
really
I
cool.
love gardening. It's definitely a thing of mine. I did potatoes this year for
Yeah.
the first time actually, and they did all right. Yeah, I didn't do
Nice.
seed potatoes though. I got to do seed potatoes next year, definitely.
Sweet potatoes are hard. Yeah, I think in Massachusetts you're gonna have a better time than I have.
Right on.
But you know, use some sandy soil. Really make your own soil, because all the
Yep.
stuff that you can buy.
We're
is
near the
gonna be
beach. We got some sandy soil here.
Okay,
Definitely.
good. Okay. Yeah. It's way easier to do it, in my opinion, to grow potatoes. It's way easier to do it in one of those cloth pots. Have you seen the cloth
Yep.
pot?
I had that. I did reading that a couple years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying
and then
not
you
to
just
grow
cut
weed
it off
anymore.
at the end.
I just want to grow vegetables and flowers and shit. I don't want to grow weed at home anymore myself. You're just around it all day, you know. I mean, nothing.
Yeah. No, and everybody's doing a really good job with weed. Like, I love just buying grams. I don't really need to grow my weed anymore. I just want to taste the diversity of the market.
I'm so with you there. I've definitely, for the past couple of years, just been buying. Yeah, honestly, I think a dispensary mainly just eighths of like 3 or 4 different things at a time, and just going nuts. Trying to always rotate them in and out. It's a great time.
Yeah, I'm very spoiled. You know, I get a lot of samples from vendors that are trying to get into the shop. So, yeah, and then when I do like this with the North American Weed Tour, then I get to smoke, you know, weed from all over.
Anytime you go somewhere, we got consultants over to do, install equipment, and you go out with them afterwards or whatever the hell. And you're just giving them shit. Like, thank you so much for doing that. Really, here's like a 1 gram vape card and a half ounce or something. Go nuts.
Oh yeah, my house sitters are always really appreciative. They get paid. They get everybody's like handyman, plumber, whatever. Gets tipped in weeds.
It's too funny. That's what you gotta do. People love it. People appreciate it.
Absolutely, and destigmatize it, man. Like people get tipped in booze all the time. Why can't I tip with weed?
I love the term California sobers. I heard that the other day. I'd never heard that before. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, just weed and mushrooms, man. That's California sober.
I didn't know mushrooms, so that makes sense too. Right?
Oh yeah, it's mushrooms.
Yeah, why not? Throw them in there.
Yeah, you gotta expand your mind while you also depress it, right?
Nothing wrong with that. I remember. Well, I shouldn't talk about that. My parents are gonna whatever, right?
Yeah, no.
That's fun. When you smoke when you're on mushrooms, definitely helps a little bit too, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the nausea that comes from mushrooms can definitely be off-putting for some people.
I know somebody who deals with that for sure.
Oh, we're getting off topic.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say on behalf of Triple M or behalf of yourself before we wap it all up?
Let me check my notes. I think we've touched on everything. Kind of inadvertently, somehow it all kind of came up organically, which is great.
I'm pretty good at my job. I don't know.
Yeah. No, this is goodness. No, you did a good job. That's it. That's all we got. That's all I got, at least.
Excellent. Well, Tyler, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, everybody else who's joined us. Please remember to do everything my boss is telling me to tell you to do, which is like and subscribe and interact and all those fun things. It means that I get to come back. It means that I get to interview more people like Tyler, and we all get to have a good time. Check out everything new that's coming down from the West. Nope, no longer just the West Coast. Now it's the North American Weed Tour. I've been doing this a while. The North American Weed Tour. And we're reviewing products from all over the country. We're touring, we're interviewing. So yeah, interact with us. We'll interact with you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Is that what there was somebody I didn't follow the emails, but he said he's coming out here on like the 20th or something like that of September. I thought
I'm sure Mitch and Joey they run around. Yeah.
It'll be fun. It's gonna be a fun time.
It's gonna be a good time. We're doing stuff all the way until December this year, I believe, which is longer than we've ever done it before. So.
It's really cool. This was really fun. I really appreciate all this, Erin.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been very fun. We'll probably see you again. Why not?
Cool.
Okay.
Alrighty,